Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good Friday evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And really not a bad one today, at least this morning. Winds have come up this afternoon, have been blowing about 20 to 25 miles an hour in many locations. But for the most part, a peek at the sun with some clouds. But I hope you had a chance to enjoy it today because we have major changes coming as we get into this weekend. First, here's a look at what we could see snow-wise as we make our way through Saturday and into the weekend. Most of the accumulated snow will be in Blewett Pass, Stevens Pass, Sherman Passes, where we could see 1 to 4 inches of snow. So if you are traveling, keep that in mind for Saturday and into Sunday. Lots of rain expected with this storm system as well. We could see about 6/10 of an inch here in Wenatchee, but notice Ellensburg, 2 inches there, also up into the plain area, and some locations near the Cascade Crest could receive 4 to 7 inches of rain. We'll talk more about that later on in your weather forecast. And for those watching on our Facebook, tune in to Localtel Channel 12 or Charter Channel 19, or you can stream us live at ncwlife.com for the full evening newscast tonight. And now a few of the stories we're following for you. The Central Washington Burned Area Emergency Response Team releases its findings from this year's fires. Moses Lake Police shuts down a teen party in an abandoned house, and an excessive speed causes a 2-car accident in Quincy. Later on, we'll have sports, your weather forecast, and our feature story today. But first, speaking of snow, the first major snowfall of the season triggered traction tire advisories on some Cascade passes this morning. Washington State Patrol Trooper Brian Moore described the scene as he drove up U.S. Stevens Pass this morning.
Oh, it is snowing up on Stevens Pass this morning. We're expecting 4 to 10 inches of snow throughout the day. Washington State Patrol wants to remind drivers that we do need to slow down. We need to make sure that we got a good set of winter tires. Winter is here. They need to be prepared for ever-changing conditions on the pass. Earlier this morning at about 6:30-ish, we had one semi that ended up in the ditch because they were going a little bit too fast. We have troopers and Washington State Department of Transportation are en route along with a tow truck. So there could be some minor delays as you head over Stevens Pass going eastbound this morning. But the main message for today is winter's here up in the passes and drivers need to be prepared for changing conditions.
Well, the wildfires are out, but the job of restoring the forest landscape is just beginning on the Okanagan and Wenatchee National Forest. Steve Hare reports.
Wildfire can increase the risk of flooding, erosion, and sedimentation. Other potential hazards include debris flow, reduced water quality, invasive plants, or falling trees and rocks. The Central Washington Burned Area Emergency Response Team, or BEAR, has completed its initial assessment of areas burned in the Diamond Creek, Jolly Mountain, the Uno Peak, the Jack Creek, and the Norse fires. The team has also released so-called burn severity maps that show the effects of fires on soil conditions. Maps help identify the areas that are most susceptible to runoff and erosion and ways to manage potential risks. The BEAR team will also make recommendations for emergency measures to stabilize those areas in advance of the first damaging storm events. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
And in what may be a warning to young adults as the Halloween holiday approaches, an underage party in a vacant house went up in smoke last weekend as Moses Lake police officers responded to a report of more than 50 teens and young adults in a foreclosed home. Here's Steve Hare with that story.
When officers arrived, they found one light source, a single lamp powered by an extension cord plugged into a neighbor's home. In a post to their Facebook page, Moses Lake Police said the light was no match for the cloud of marijuana smoke hanging in the house, littered with red Solo cups. Officers were able to surround the home without being detected, making their presence known as partygoers scrambled to hide contraband. Officers spent 3 hours processing partygoers and releasing minors to parents, booking the planner of the party into Grant County Juvenile Jail for burglary and furnishing alcohol to minors. Police officials say a report will be filed with the prosecutor's office requesting criminal trespass charges against those who attended the party, as well as alcohol and marijuana charges against those who illegally possessed those substances. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Excessive speed was the cause of a two-car accident that sent 3 people to the hospital yesterday afternoon near Quincy. Washington State Patrol reports that around noon Thursday, 20-year-old Lindsay Blackwell of Cashmere was attempting to turn off State Route 28 south onto White Trail Road when she crossed into the northbound lane and hit an oncoming Peterbilt semi-truck. That was driven by 50-year-old Joseph Collier of Mabton. Blackwell, along with passengers Malachi Blackwell of Cashmere and Alfonso Pena of Federal Way, were all injured in the crash and transported to Quincy Valley Medical Center. Blackwell was charged with speeding. A single vehicle accident late yesterday afternoon near Mazama sent a Marysville man to the hospital. 40-year-old Joel Bacon was traveling east on State Route 20 about a half-mile west of Mazama when he failed to negotiate a curve and left the roadway, coming to rest in the ditch. Because of his injuries, Bacon was airlifted to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee. The cause of that accident and possible charges are pending following an investigation. Coming up, we continue our series of candidate profiles for Leavenworth City Council. The Wenatchee Mini Maker Fair takes over the Wenatchee Convention Center tomorrow, and the Humane Society hosts a free spay and neuter clinic for cats. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome back. In a press release earlier today, the Wenatchee Police Department reports that 33-year-old Nathaniel Gregg of Quincy was arrested Tuesday on several felony charges, including a felon in possession of a loaded firearm. Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department explains how the puzzle pieces fit together in this case.
Tuesday morning about 5:30, we had a victim who's had some prior burglary issues, in particular, always believed to be from this ex-boyfriend up on Miller Street, called in and said the boyfriend was on the property. I don't know what prompted her to look at the surveillance camera at her house, but she did and saw a person she recognized as her ex on the property, again, in her carport near her garage. Previous burglaries to garage and even the house itself had been burglarized. She called 911 immediately. Rivercom got officers on the way, and officers arrived to find this subject, this Nathaniel Gregg, now of Quincy, right outside her garage and up under her carport. Eventually decided to comply with instructions and was taken into custody after a very minor struggle. And he was found to be armed with a loaded .40 caliber pistol inside his jacket. The officers kept investigating. They discovered the pistol had actually been stolen from the same victim back in July of 2016 in a prior burglary after they had parted ways. They went to take him to jail and book him for the no-contact order violation. There was a no-contact order between him and the victim, and also for the possession of a stolen firearm, and he happened to be a convicted felon and was in possession of a firearm, which is a separate felony charge. As they booked him on all this stuff, the victim called back and said, "There's a strange car across the street I do not recognize. I went over and looked at it, and I think it's my stuff from my garage in the car." And it was. Officers returned and checked on the vehicle and noted it was registered to someone other than our suspect out of Quincy. They called Quincy Police Department, had Quincy go contact that owner, and found that the vehicle was indeed stolen and believed to be by our same suspect, Mr. Gregg. They took the vehicle for a search warrant. It was brought down to the station here. Our detectives applied for him, were granted a search warrant for the vehicle related to all this, and they found property that had just been stolen that morning from the victim's garage
and also property that had been stolen earlier in the year back in a burglary in July that she had reported, also believed to be the work of Mr. Gregg. Mr. Gregg was also found to have 2 credit cards from the victim in Quincy, who's another ex, in his possession, which is each a separate felony charge the way Washington state law is set up. So Mr. Gregg ended up being booked on a litany of felony charges, including some domestic violence ones. I am hoping that we have finally put an end to his unfortunate serial crimes with his victim here in Wenatchee, but he remains in Shawnee County Regional Jail on bail, on a large quantity of bail. I'm not sure what it is, pending another court appearance and moving forward with charges.
Gregg was charged with violation of a no-contact order, unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a stolen firearm, first-degree burglary, domestic violence, possession of a stolen vehicle, and 3 counts of possession of stolen property, second degree. As our candidate profiles continue, tonight we take a look at the race for Leavenworth City Council, position 5. The 2 candidates are incumbent Sharon Faye Waters and challenger Gary Planigan. Waters is 73 years old and was appointed to the City Council last November. She holds a bachelor's degree from Pacific Lutheran University and a master's from the University of California, Davis. Waters says she is community-minded and does not want to see the residential area in Leavenworth overrun by the tourist industry. Her challenger, Gary Planigan, is the owner and founder of Osprey Rafting Company. He's a board member on the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce and is also a Rotary Youth Exchange Program board member. He feels the fabric of Leavenworth is starting to erode a bit and says he will try to rebuild a symbiotic relationship between businesses and residents. Monday, right here on the NCW Life Evening News, we finish our look at the Leavenworth City Council as we profile the candidates for position 6, Tibor Locke and Clint Strand. You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come on NCW Life News. Stay with us.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a good finally Friday. Let's take a look at the Les Schwab's prep scoreboard from last night. First of all, in soccer, Wenatchee blanked Moses Lake 1-0. The Panthers won their first ever Big Nine title. Ariana Escobedos' goal in the 61st minute was the difference. Cascade won their 13th game of the season. They're now still undefeated, beating Omak by a score of 9-0. It was Tonasket blanking Manson 5-0. On the volleyball courts last night, Wenatchee hosted Moses Lake and came out a little ragged, with the Chiefs leading most of the first set. After a timeout, the Panthers straightened things out and went on for the 3-set sweep. I was along Leanne Branham with the call here for the NCW Life channel.
Wenatchee counters with Hallberg and a wicked hit at the net, but the counter by the Chiefs. Here's the set. And Hanneberg with the hit, and sprawling down was Wolfe. They get it back, though. Over the net does Wenatchee. Now there's a beautiful shot. Good eyes by Serena Hanneberg. Moses Lake gets it across, back to the back line. Anderson to Sugg to Hallberg.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Wow.
While Demery Sugg will try to wrap it up here. 24-21 could be set point. Back line, and that one's just about set over. Licken says, okay, I'll just touch it. And that's the point, and that is the set. I'm sure. And the service. Back line, it's in. And that's the set for Wenatchee. Panthers take care of Moses Lake in quick fashion here in the second set. 25-11 the final in that one. And no, right into the net it goes. That was 2 in a row for her.
That was.
25-16 is our final in the third set as Wenatchee sweeps Moses Lake and they wrap up the number 2 seed in the Big Nine. They will have a first round bye and get ready for the district tournament at West Valley to try to make it to the state 4A championships.
Also in volleyball last night, it was Eastmont shutting out Sunnyside 3-0 with the sweep. The Wildcats ensure home court play-in game November 1st. Chelan blanked Okanagan. It was Cascade blanking Omak. And he had got by Patera, so the Tigers are number 1 in their league. Waterville-Mansfield squeaked past Bridgeport 3-2. Slow pitch softball yesterday was a Wenatchee sweep over Eisenhower at the WVC softball complex, 11-1 and 12-0. Coming up in high school football tonight. And yet, actually today at Columbia, the old Columbia Hunters there, Moses Lake at Wenatchee. It's homecoming for the Panthers. You can watch it live right here on the NCW Life channel. Eastmont's on the road at Davis. Cashmere hosting Chelan for the battle for the bronze shoe. Also homecoming there tonight. Cascades at Okanagan. Liberty Bell hosting Manson. The Trojans try to remain undefeated. Waterville-Mansfield is at Brewster. Coming up on Saturday in soccer, Natchez Valley at Cascade. You've got Wahluke hosting Chelan, while Eastmont's at Cashmere for an interesting one. That starts at 11. Manson hosting Omak. Volleyball, Manson's at the Pateras varsity tournament starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okanagan at Cashmere. Cross country, the CWB League Championships happening in Liberty Bell starting at 11 o'clock. Watch for the deer. The Wenatchee Wild start a 2-night run at the Town Toyota Center tonight in BCHL hockey action. The Surrey Eagles are in town tonight, 7:05 for the game time. And then it's the Penticton V's to follow tomorrow night. Arch Ecker joined Dan Koontz earlier this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for that. Hey, don't forget, they've got some promotions this weekend, including the diaper toss tomorrow. They're going to paint the rink for Pink at the Rink Sunday from 11 to 2. College football coming up on Saturday. Central Washington hosts North Alabama at 1 o'clock. Eastern Washington at Southern Utah for a 4 o'clock kickoff. And Colorado's at Washington State. Cougs trying to bounce back from last week's loss to Cal. 7:45 kickoff on Saturday night. The Seahawks, after a bye last weekend, are in New York to take on the Giants on Sunday. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. This Sunday, area residents can once again participate in Pink at the Rink at Town Toyota Center. Broadcast voice of the Wenatchee Wild, Arch Ecker, joined host Dan Koontz this morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley and explains what will come up on Sunday.
It's not a brand new idea. It has been done in other markets. Of course, it's just like radio, right? Yeah. They say, nothing's new. People just kind of borrow from other areas. But, this one, as you take a look at the video here, you'll see what happens. We invite the public. Anyone can come in. There's no charge. We provide the paint brushes, we provide the paint, and we invite folks to come in, and they're invited to go ahead and write whatever they want to write on the ice, write the names of people in their lives that have been touched or affected by cancer, and it stays on there. Now, what they're able to do to keep this is they shave the ice down. Now, people don't always realize, but that ice, it's about an inch or so thick, right? And it's cooled from the bottom through piping that's in the concrete. Well, what they do is they shave it down a bit, and then they set it, then people can come in and paint. So you'll see there's a guy kind of wandering around. He's got one of those little misting buckets, and he's misting over the top of the paint, and that kind of helps lock it in. And then they'll gently continue to build those layers. Then as they go across, then eventually you can start running the Zamboni over it. And the Zamboni at that point isn't cutting the ice anymore, it's flooding. So what it'll do is just help build the ice back up. So then you get a thin layer of protective ice over the painted names. So that way, as gameplay occurs, guys can go and skate and cut across it, and then they can come resurface it, and it doesn't damage the locked-in paint. It stays there, and it'll be there all throughout the week until the following Saturday when we have our actual Pink at the Rink game, which is the 28th against the Alberni Valley Bulldogs.
And if you would like to honor friends or loved ones affected by cancer, once again, the Paint the Rink event is this Sunday from 11 to 2 at the Town Toyota Center. We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Romaine Electric in Wenatchee is your one-stop repair shop for all your auto, marine, small engine, or heavy-duty truck electric motor needs. Does your battery need to be replaced? Their technicians will have you up and running. The diagnostic team at Romaine Electric identifies and repairs all electrical issues from farm, truck, marine, industrial, diesel, ATV, and PWC. Romaine Electric in the Industrial Park off Ferry Street and Wenatchee Avenue. Stop by or give them a call today at 663-8150.
Is this really what we're going to do on our girls' night out? We should go to Club Crow.
The Bar and Grill in Cashmere?
Yeah, let's go.
Looking for a fun-filled, friendly hometown atmosphere? Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is the place to be. Hi, this is Justin. Here at Club Crow, we have full bar and restaurant, live music, a dance floor, pool tables, pull tabs, and live jam sessions the first Sunday of every month. Club Crow in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Breed's Marine in Manson has your boating needs covered, offering the superior Regal lineup with options from 19 to 53 feet. Featuring the Regal Surf lineup with Volvo Penta's new forward-facing drive with length from 19 to 26 feet. View our current inventory at ChelanBoat.com or stop by our Manson showroom on beautiful Lake Chelan and see what the all-new Regal RX Surfline has to offer.
Time now for other news around the Wenatchee Valley. Wenatchee's Mini Maker Fair is tomorrow morning. Wenatchee High School student leaders Emmy Coldy and Lane Nipfer joined Jay Seebeck on the NCW Life magazine this week to talk about Mini Maker Fair and importance of student leadership from previous years to help them along their way. Mini Maker Fair starts at 9 a.m. and is free to all ages.
Just through the opportunities that Wenatchee High School offers, DECA, mock trial, FBLA, these things just made me get really interested in what our community does and how I can affect our community. And, looking and seeing mentors at school, past students that led this, Ethan Toth, Vivian Noyd, Matt Springer, just these people made me interested in seeing what Maker Faire could do and its potential to affect the community, which really interested me.
I initially got involved because I had a few mentors that were really good friends of mine, and they were involved, and they just had a lot of fun and said it was a really cool opportunity to get involved in the community, kind of like Lane was saying. And also, additionally, classes that I took at the high school kind of fed into this, whether it was science classes and STEM classes or marketing classes, and I just thought it would be a really good opportunity to kind of put those into action.
We've talked about, we're obviously going to set up like a donation box at the event, and anyone can donate. Go contact through our website, WenatcheeMiniMakerFair.com. But if you want to donate, just talk. It's a community. Talk to me or talk to Emmy, or talk to Becca or Jenny. There's lots of opportunities to donate, and we'd appreciate any support because Microsoft is doing that amazing match donation, which we appreciate a lot because it makes this event able to run.
Tomorrow morning at the Wenatchee Community Center, the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society will host a free spay and neuter clinic for cats in the Wenatchee area. Due to increase in homeless and wild cats in the area, the Humane Society hosts up to 4 of these free clinics throughout the year. We spoke with veterinarians Brad Crower and Tamara Hively about tomorrow's event.
Tomorrow is our quarterly spay-neuter clinic, and this is open to the public to provide income-qualified people the opportunity to get their cats spayed and try and prevent the cat overpopulation problem. Cats nationwide are the #1 intake challenge for animal shelters everywhere. Here at Wenatchee Valley, we have plenty of kittens coming in, unwanted pregnancies, and this gives the public an opportunity to be able to alter their cats, both males and females, and stop those cats from proliferating. The other thing that we find is cats that are not altered are much more likely to be nuisance in the community, both reproductive-wise and doing things that we don't want them to do.
It is at the Wenatchee Community Center. It's the old St. Joseph's Catholic Church, 504 South Chelan. And we will be starting to let people in at around 7:15. We'll start intakes.
And now your weather forecast for north central Washington. And before we get to all the stormy details, let's take another look quickly outside our weather window where we did see some clouds, some blue sky at times, but the winds did pick up throughout the area, and that is just ahead of a major storm system heading our way. The active weather will continue through the weekend as one storm system moves through the region today, as I mentioned, and another follows quickly on Saturday. Satellite imagery is very clear and showing an upper level low moving into the region today as a cold front continues to move east. As the low moves through, expect southwest winds today, as we talked about, to increase to 20 to 30 miles an hour, even gusts in some spots 30 to 40 miles an hour. There will only be about a 12 to 24-hour break in the weather as the next huge storm system moves into our area, and that'll be on Saturday morning. Take a look at that large atmospheric river of moisture that's moving through our satellite screen from west to east. That will increase precipitation chances above 200% of normal by midday on Saturday. Through the day and into Saturday night, 4 to 7 inches of rain will be possible above about 3,500 feet on the Cascade Crest in Chelan County. The Plains, Stehekin, and Lake Wenatchee areas could see over 2 inches of rain from this storm. And this large storm system will bring widespread precipitation with a ½ inch of rain or more expected in the Wenatchee Valley. Some lingering shower activity can be expected Sunday morning, and then as the storm system passes, winds will pick up Sunday afternoon and evening. And by Monday and through most of next week, an upper ridge builds in, bringing a drying and warming trend with temperatures in the lower 60s. Here's a look at that forecast now, and it will be kind of a cool one once again tonight. We'll see 38 for our overnight low. On Saturday, 47 the high, and it's going to just be a rainy day throughout the day on Saturday. 43 the low, 100% chance of rain, maybe 6/10 possible in Wenatchee. 60 as we warm up on Sunday with a few lingering showers. And then look at that forecast, Monday through Thursday. Sunny skies next work week with high temperatures mainly in the lower 60s. And closing out our newscast tonight, we hope you have an explosive weekend. And that video comes from our news producer, Uriah Darby. And if you have a video of the day you'd like to see on NCW Life News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Also, tune into NCW Life Channel Monday morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and all the latest news with Steve Hare. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Hey everyone, Frank Ferrari here at Frank's Used Cars, where everybody gets a good deal. Today's deal is F-150 under 300,000 miles. Yesterday, $55.95. Today, it's only $213. At this price, this thing won't last long. Hurry on down to Frank Ferrari's Used Cars, where everybody gets a good deal. Right, Fred? Forget about Frank. Here at Town Nissan, we're fun, we're fair, and we're fabulous. Town Nissan, behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Hey
folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's blueberry picking season, and King 5 named us the second best destination restaurant in Washington State. So toss the family in the cruiser and get on out to Blueberry Hills for the best down-home scratch country cooking you've had in years. And don't forget our award-winning pies. We're fun, family-friendly, and a delicious destination year-round. We're open every day from 8 to 3, serving breakfast and lunch all day. So come on out to Blueberry Hills.
I'm Bryce Newberry, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.